Electricast.
Hey, it's Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. Now, I was looking for fun ways to tell you that Mint's offer of unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month is back. So I thought it would be fun if we made $15 bills. But it turns out that's very illegal. So there goes my big idea for the commercial. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
With the Walmart app, you can squeeze in those final days of summer and nail that back-to-school shopping list. So keep working on that tan and let Walmart Express Delivery handle the rest. Chromebooks, Clorox wipes, Sharpies, glue sticks, pens, pencils, and more. All delivered in as fast as an hour. So pour yourself another iced tea. Summer's not over. Last-minute back-to-school supplies delivered fast. The Walmart you thought you knew is now new. Subject to availability. Fees and restrictions apply.
Welcome to Her Extraordinary Life by Design, where we celebrate women who are shaping their lives one extraordinary day at a time. I'm your host, Leslie Gaudet, self-care coach for women who are ready to make self-care a priority to support them in life and business. Every week, I'll be speaking with inspiring women from various walks of life who will share their personal journeys and will discover how they have fearlessly carved their own paths as business owners, passionately pursuing their dreams and creating a meaningful impact on their communities. So let's get started. Hello, and welcome to Extraordinary Life by Design podcast. I'm your host, Leslie Gaudet, and today we're talking with Dina Marais. Dina is the founder of Soul Purpose Publishing and Coaching, a 7-time international best-selling author, an independent publisher of 4 international bestsellers, and a quantum alignment and human design coach. She works with established entrepreneurs to elevate their brands, credibility, visibility, impact, and income by becoming best-selling authors. As a soul alignment manifesting coach, she supports entrepreneurs in manifesting their dream goals using human design to identify self-sabotaging patterns and experience higher levels of awareness. Dina, I am excited to have you on the show today, so welcome.
Thank you so much, Leslie. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, well, I've been waiting for this. We're newly connected, but I love people who are about human design, and we'll talk a little bit about that, but I love human design. It's something I think that has been really great for me to at least understand it a little bit. So anyways, you have an amazing background, and I'm excited to talk to you about what you do. So let's get started. You have built an incredible body of work from founding Soul Purpose Publishing to helping entrepreneurs align with their true path as a soul alignment manifesting coach through human design and quantum alignment. So can you take us behind the scenes? What experiences or pivotal moments led you to this work? And how did you know this was your calling?
I think I knew it was my calling. I just, felt it in my body. I think sometimes we just have, that intuition. We just feel it. I've been in coaching for a very long time, since 2002, when I did my first NLP practitioner certification. Since then, lots and lots and lots of courses and certifications after that. And always, the self has always been really my focus in coaching, self-love. And that actually evolved into energetic alignment in how do we align, how do we manifest our dreams. And then the publishing came. And that was just a beautiful, amazing opportunity, just fell in my lap. And I really did have a physical reaction in my body when I saw a masterclass and I thought, wow, this is me. This is what I'm here to do. And it was a beautiful extension to my business because of the coaching and the alignment. And now bringing because I work with the entrepreneurs, bringing this publishing in as well for them to share their stories, to share their messages with the world. And I really love every minute. For me, it's really sacred work because I publish inspirational spirituality books. And so the stories, I publish multi-author books, and the stories are all true life stories and experiences of the coaches and healers and entrepreneurs, spiritual entrepreneurs that are in the books. And then I also publish solo author books where I have a program up to a year where people can come and write and publish their book with me. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, yeah. And I love that. And one of the things that you said when you were talking about the multi-author books, I love that because, and I actually participated in one a few years ago. And what I love about that is that there's that not even just the collaboration piece, but the connection piece with other women that you may not have met before or known before. And there's always like some similarity in our stories. And it's so nice to be able to, especially if you have a collaboration on a book that has a specific tone to it or the idea behind it, and you're bringing women together or whomever is coming together to actually participate. What I love about that is that a lot of the time we can find ourselves in other people's stories and not necessarily in a negative way, but in a good way that we can actually say, oh, I don't feel so much alone anymore because I've actually found somebody who actually gets, like what I've gone through or has some kind of similar experience. And that's what I loved about my experience with my book is that the women, even though we're from all over the globe, but we had some part of our story was similar, which made us feel like we were, I don't know if it was kindred spirits, but just made us feel that much closer and feeling like, okay, we're participating in something that can really have that ability to change another woman's life who reads that book just based on our stories and us actually having something that we could even help each other, our experience, how we went through it and all of that. So I love the fact that publishing became part of your path and being able to help other people not only do the collaborative books, but also do the solo journey books and being able to understand like there is a story to tell. And a lot of the time, I'm sure you've probably heard this, like, I don't really have a story to tell, but we do have a story. And that story could possibly change someone's life out there that maybe just thinks it's like nobody gets them, nobody understands them, especially maybe in their own family. So I really love that you do that.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, we live by stories, don't we? I mean, our life is a story. Everyone's life is a story. And we learn from each other through our stories.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. I agree. Well, this series that I invited you to be a part of, it really was important to me. I wanted to really talk with women who are creating a lifestyle for themselves. And so who are done with really maybe the old definitions of success. They're ready to lead from truth or they're leading from truth and have been doing it, not from the performance base. I know a lot of people are stuck on performance based validation rather than just leading from their own truth. And it's why I named this series Unapologetic and Unstoppable Women Redefining Success. So with that being said, how has your definition over the years evolved with respect to success? And what does it look like and feel like for you at this moment?
It's a great question. Well, in my earlier years of my business, as you are rightly said, it was all about performance. It was all about, how much money am I making? What is, that was the score. That was the scorecard. But that has evolved so much. I also see myself as a lifestyle entrepreneur. I like what I do, but I don't like to work myself to death. I like to feel fulfilled and happy, and I don't want the pressure of having to do more and more and more, because that really leads to burnout as well. And, you know, for me, work is play. And when we begin to see it as a chore, then we don't enjoy it that much. Then it's only about what are we getting, what do we want from it, instead of how are we giving ourselves to all the tasks that we love doing. But it's love. I love what I do and I enjoy what I do. And that for me is absolutely important. And I do enough, of course, but I don't work like 10 hours a day like I used to. I rest. For so many years, Leslie, I worked every day of the year. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. If I don't see a client, there was something, a course or something that I was creating. I was always creating, always building, and I never rested. And that is so important because your creativity gets a boost when you rest. You have time to reflect. You have time to just come back to center, to really tap into your divine muse, to be present. If we're always on the treadmill and work, 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 work like I used to, some days, went by in a blur. And at the end of the day, I think, what did I do? I couldn't remember what I did because it was just nonstop. So maybe it came with age as well, becoming a little bit older, slowing down, finding joy in moments where I can just go and sit. I look forward to my rest periods, taking a pause, having some tea, and just take a moment. So yes, it has changed a lot. And I think success nowadays I define as, yes, of course, I want a nice paycheck. Yes, of course, I want to make a living and pay the bills and do all the nice things for myself. But I want to really enjoy what I do. The joy is important. The fulfillment is important. That I feel I make a difference. That, every call that I do with someone, that they walk away and they think, wow, that was great. So always leaving people better than how we found them. That's my sort of philosophy. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. And, one of the things you touched on is like that mindlessly going through your day. And then, like you were saying at the end, thinking like, okay, what did I do today? I'm confused. I know I was really super busy, but if I look at what I did, I can't find evidence. And so I love that you touched on that. I want to ask you a question, just a follow up to that. What do you think is an outdated definition of success that you think more women need to release?
I think this whole thing of comparing ourselves with others, I think that's a great starting point to say, leave that. We all have our own rhythm. We all have our own abilities. We don't need us to compare ourselves with anyone. And that is actually, that cultivates a competition kind of mindset as well, that I think leads to taking our mind off on why we are actually doing what we're doing. We only see ourselves in terms of what other people are doing. We get distracted from our own satisfaction. And, there's more than enough in the universe. There's absolutely no reason to compete at all or to compare at all. We're all on different journeys. I always say that our spiritual DNA is all the same. We come from the same place. We're just on a different journey. And I think women must let go of having to be superwoman, of having to work all day, every day, and, and be the best mother and be the best wife. You just need to be the best you. That's it. Just be yourself and give yourself time to rest. That is very important.
I really agree with you there too. And then coming back to like that wellness piece of it, because I know women, like especially at least the women that I've talked to, women that I've just been, being mindful of when I'm on social media and just looking at what people are saying without them coming out and saying everything fully. Many women are pushing for that visibility piece as well as impact, but a lot of the time are ending up exhausted in the process because not recognizing that, okay, well, you have this business side of your life, but you also have this personal side of your life. And if you're a mom or even a grandmom who's actually really invested in the growth of your grandchildren and you're really invested in their life, all of that still is part of your day or your week or your weekend. And so what I've found is that they are looking at their life only really, I think, a lot of the time just from the business side of it and not recognizing that, okay, this is also impacting your personal life and your personal life can impact your business life. So working with clients, do you have an approach when you work with people, especially women, who are, I feel like we're just as women, just knowing women the way I do, knowing myself the way I do, that we sometimes will take on a lot more, as they would say, more than I can chew. So, what's your approach when you help women or your clients? How do you help them protect their energy, whether they're in your year-long program to create their book and not getting, you know, freaked out by the process because I'm sure they want it to be great, but staying away from the perfectionist side so that they don't burn out, as well as make, like, as you were saying, you don't want to work 10-hour days. You want to actually have quality of life, like being living a lifestyle. That's what you want. You want to be able to do one that is joyful. So what would you say is how you approach your clients if this is something that you touch on with them to make sure that they don't end up exhausted in the process of building whatever it is that they're working on?
I think many women are afraid that if they don't work the 10 hours, that they are going to not be able to create what they want to create. But what they actually forget is that if we do work the 10-hour days, and I did that, then we don't actually cultivate our divine muse, which is inside of us, or the creativity that we have inside, because we are too busy to tune into her. And we need that. We need that awareness to guide us. So that number one. In a practical way, I work with clients. I limit my calls to Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. I always take off Friday afternoons, and I refuse to work on weekends. And the last week of the month, I don't do calls because I keep that week free to actually plan for the next month, the meetings I want to have, the articles I want to write, the videos I want to make. Otherwise, I have to do that in my quality time with my grandchildren.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a question of putting yourself first, putting your well-being first, putting your family first, putting your soul first. Because if you're going to check inside, it's your ego mind that wants you to work every day of the week. And it's that chasing mentality. I've got to chase this. We receive. We don't have to chase. We attract to us. And if we have a chasing mentality and, that chasing energy, we are repelling everything that we want anyway. Because we don't have time. We don't give ourselves the time to sit. I sit 2 or 3 times a day for 5 minutes. And I just relax. And I just come to my center and I breathe and I visualize what it is that I'm creating with gratitude. And I say, thank you. And then I go and do the next thing. And I find that much more effective for my well-being, for my whole emotional well-being, my physical well-being, my spiritual well-being. And I get more done. And also more discernment for myself on jumping onto everything. Because that's the other thing what we do. Every shining object, we have to do that. Oh, that looks so good. Oh, yes, everybody's going to do that marketing thing. I've got to do that. We overwhelm ourselves with all the information and all the courses and all the FOMO. We need to check in with ourselves, with our awareness, the awareness that we are, and see, do I really need this? What have I already in place? What is my goal? Why do I want this? How is it going to help me? And trust that. Because, if we, for example, here we need to start a podcast or we need to start writing a blog, and everybody's jumping on the bandwagon, how is that going to help your business? Why do you want that? That's really a big question, because we need to take these business decisions strategically, not from a FOMO kind of space, because then it's our ego talking us into things that's unnecessary. On the other side, if you come across something and you can feel it in your heart, wow, You can feel it. Your body tells you, your soul tells you, this is you. Then sit with that for a day and still feel good. You still love it. Then sign up for that and don't let your ego talk you out of it. So it's a fine balance, and everyone is different. But the main thing is don't overwork yourself and rather see that you attract into your life the people that you want to work with instead of chasing goals down. This is a big lesson for me too, because I used to do that for years. And it's still a process for me to discern and stop and wait. Do I really want this? Do I really need this? Because like anyone else, I'm a sucker for great marketing. Someone writes a great page. Oh, goodness. But I have to take a day or so and really think if this is what I really want. So I don't spontaneously sign up for things anymore. I wait. It won't go away so quickly. If I really want it, then I will take another look.
Yeah. I think that's a great lesson to learn too for anything really that we're making a decision, is to have that pause to really ask ourselves those questions to make sure that it really is what we want. And you really kind of touched on something for me that I wanted to just kind of get into a little bit. Is I feel like confidence and self-trust are really important pieces to that other side of the coin, where it's something that perhaps is the right fit, but you're taking that pause. But I know that for whatever reason, and I think it just comes from experience of growing up and the things that we've gone through, that we still carry patterns of self-doubt, especially if we're stepping into something bigger. It's uncomfortable. It's the unknown, especially not only the unknown of what lies ahead, but the unknown of, is this going to work out, right? Is this the right move? So with that being said, in your opinion and the work that you do, what mindset or energetic shifts do you think would help, and I'm sure that you've worked with your clients this way, move from hesitation to certainty so that even in those uncomfortable spaces they find themselves in, that they keep moving forward?
I think your heart. You got to tune into your heart. If you tune into your ego mind and into fear, you're going to take the wrong action. It's not a place to take action from. You have to tune in inwardly and bypass the ego mind. Because your mind will talk in self-doubt. Your mind will creates the fear. The unknown, I call the unknown as the certainty of infinite possibilities. Because our ego mind only knows the known of what is known. But we are actually tuned into the infinite field, into infinite intelligence. We just forget to use it. And it takes time to actually practice tuning in, but it's absolutely worth it to sit with something and listen for your body and hear your heart. Is this for me? Feel it. And if you don't feel it, then don't do it. And never, ever take action when you feel fearful, when you feel lack, when you feel you got to chase something, when you feel pressure. Don't take action. It's the wrong action. I've learned that lesson so many times.
Yeah, absolutely.
So many times, jumping in, feeling the pressure. Oh my goodness gracious, I need to do it now. I need to do it now. And then it's the wrong thing. And if we take that back to quantum human design, all types, unless you're a manifester, all types need to wait. We all get inspiration, and then we need to wait for divine timing. We need to wait to respond to something in the outer world. So we feel the inspiration inside, but before we take action, the universe wants to line up a few things for us. So we need to wait so that we can really, it can feel very uncomfortable because, our bodies, our ego says, go, go, go. But breathe and wait and trust that, yes, it will show up maybe in a few moments. that thing that we know the universe is giving us so that we can take action. And then everything is lined up and then everything goes smoothly. Otherwise, we push against the universe, we take action too quickly, and then we get crickets. Nothing happens. Nobody signs up because we didn't wait for that sign.
Yeah, I think it's really important. One of the things about human design for me is I myself am a 3-5 projector, self projector. Knowing my human design really has helped me and how I show up in the world, because I always wondered, knowing that I have to wait for permission, first of all, but also understanding my energy type too. It also helped me understand, like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. I really talk about knowing your energy type. I think it's really important. And also knowing when you have your highest energy moments and when you have your lowest energy moments and how you do your work. And so for me, I really feel like human design and learning about it, being introduced to it and then learning about it has really helped me to become more self-aware of my environment, not just for myself, but for the people that I come across. So I want to ask you about that, because I know that this is part of what you do. You use human design and quantum impact. And so, how do you help your clients blend the energy work with real world action to manifest what they want? Because the law of attraction, just before you answer that question, a lot of people I've heard say, well, you just ask, believe, and receive. And it's like, yeah, that's not all of it. There's more to than just asking for something, putting it out into the universe, believing that it's going to come back to you and that you'll receive it. There's still action. You still have to do the things to get that. And so I'm curious, like, how do you blend that energy work with real world action so that your clients, they take whatever it is that they want and really start putting into action the things that will bring that to their reality?
Well, the thing is that there are people actually that are such great manifestors that they can visualize something and manifest it out of thin air. There are people, I know people who can do that. But they really believe without a doubt, without a shred of doubt, that what they ask for is given them. But for the rest of us who are not there yet, yes, energetic alignment is absolutely key. And we need to hold that frequency of that vision of what we want. Hold the frequency. In other words, how would you feel when you have it? That feeling, you got to be there more than 50% of the time before that will manifest. And that's a practice. That's a practice of happiness. That's a practice of self-love. That's a practice of gratitude. That's a practice of noticing all the wonderful things you have already and keeping your energy busy with other fun things while you are waiting. Because the biggest problem or the biggest error that we do is we keep looking for it. And by that, we tell ourselves that what we want isn't there. It's missing. And if we do that, then it continues to be missing. So we need to hold it in our mind, in our heart, but without attachment. Because attachment is your enemy if you want to create something. If we get really attached to the when and the how, then we are shooting ourselves in the foot. So we have the vision of what we want, but it can always come to us. And I have that as a premise. It always comes to me and to my clients in a way that you don't expect. So that helps me to let go of the how and the when. Because I just feel gratitude and excited for, it showing up. But I have no idea how. And I have no idea when. And there we have to absolutely let go and continuously tell ourselves to let go. It's not my job. I know it's here. It's already been given. And I'm excited to receive it. And I say thank you. Because gratitude implies that you believe that it has been given. So you got to sincerely feel that gratitude. Then you go about your day. And you don't look around every corner, as an entrepreneur, every email, is there a sale? Every Facebook, is there a like? Did someone, then we just repel it because that comes from an energy of lack. And we need to come from an energy of abundance. So always think of from the space of you are the one, as the one who already has it, whatever you want. Feel that joy inside and look for other things that make you that happy so that you can maintain the vibration. Because everything is already given to us. But if it's our job as creators to maintain the vibration, because we connect vibrationally to that which we want. And I always say, if you think about, I learned this from Marina Jacobi. If we can imagine that we occupy two timelines at the same time, the one is at the bottom. If you think of two horizontal timelines, the one at the bottom is where you are now. The one at the top is where you want to be. It's two different vibrational realities. The one at the bottom is what you have created so far. How you think, feel, and act. That's your comfort zone. The timeline at the top is where you want to be. That's a whole different way of thinking. The top one is the thoughts that you will have as the one who has already what you want. So if you think if you want like manifesting a 6-figure business and you want to make like $20,000 a month, how would you think? How would you feel? What would you talk about? You got to already talk there. Got to already think from there as if you have it already. Because that's how the universe works. It gives you anything you want. There is no limitation. Just got one rule. You've got to become that in your body, in your energy, in your mind, that coherence between your heart and your mind. You have to you got to live in that vibration, and then it will just come.
I agree with you. I also say like it's being open too, right? You're not attaching yourself to the outcome that you have said this is what you want because, the saying that goes out always people say this or something better. I truly believe that because it could be this that I'm thinking it be, but it could be even better. And so, again, like I'm living here in Mexico, and when we were talking about it a few years ago about living here in Mexico full time, I didn't know what that would look like, but I was open to it, but I didn't leave it as I'm only going to have this kind of idea of what it's going to look like, and that's it. I left it open, and it's when I start thinking about it, I look around and I think this is something that I had been manifesting, thinking about the home I would be living in, what I'd be surrounded by. And I started thinking about that. It's like, this is kind of a little bit like what I had visualized, but where I'm at is it feels so much better than I ever thought possible. That's why for me, not just thinking about the ask, believe, receive, but also knowing, like you said, what are the action steps that you take it to? What are the thoughts are you thinking when you want this specific thing? You're not thinking like, oh, it's impossible, because if you think it's impossible, then it is impossible. If you're thinking like, oh, right, and so, yeah, no, I really love that you've touched on that. So I have one final question for you. I know that you help your clients share stories and elevate their authority and to be seen. What advice would you give to a woman who might know that she has something powerful to say? Maybe she wants to write that book, but she's still holding back from doing that.
Well, I want to say to you, if you think that, your story isn't good enough, or you're not a good enough writer, or any other doubt or story that you tell yourself that keep you from writing that book or writing a chapter in a book, which is always a great first step, just to know what the process is like. And as you said earlier, Leslie, it's such a great sisterhood, meeting a lot of women, other women, in such a group is really very powerful. If you are an entrepreneur and you would like to be seen, I believe, really believe, that becoming a best-selling author is the number one strategy to stand out. Immediately, that status of best-selling author, it opens doors. When you want to tell your story onto podcasts and summits and stages, if you can say, I'm a best-selling author, yeah, the host says, yes, come in, come in. It's just one of those things. And working with me, and I think that's what my authors love me. Sorry, I don't want to sound arrogant, but the other day I read through all the reviews and everybody said, they mainly said two things. They said, Dina is warm, she's welcoming, she gives you the space, and she's also very well organized. She's also very good at what she does. So I want to invite you, find a publisher that you can work with, but get your story out there because there's someone waiting for that message. As we said earlier when we started, we all live by stories. We all learn by stories. And your story is important. And working with someone like myself, I read every word of every story. I read them all. I want to make sure that you put your best work in that book. And that's why I read every story and I give personal feedback. And this process sometimes can go on 3 or 4 times before I think, okay, fine, now we got it. And the author is also happy. And then we send it to the editor. So in working with me, you write and we take care of the rest. We do everything else. So don't be afraid. It's just the unknown. It's just your ego holding you back. There's nothing that can go wrong. Just do it. Just do it. Just follow your heart.
Yeah, and like we've been talking about is everyone has a story to share, and that story could be that one person reads your story and makes massive change, has massive change in their community, in their families, which then has that ripple effect. It's one story, one person, one idea that can change minds. And so even if you believe that there's nothing that you have to say, even just having someone like yourself to go in and be part of a collaboration, a book collaboration, anthology, as they call it, and become a part of that and share a small snippet and then do it again and then maybe do it again until finally you're saying like, you know what, I want to write my own book because that can happen. So yeah, I love that. Dina, thank you so much for spending time with me today and sharing your journey from building your soul purpose publishing to the powerful work you're doing, guiding entrepreneurs to align with their truth and expand their impact. I've really, truly enjoyed hearing how you support your clients stepping into visibility with confidence using tools. As I said, I love human design and also the soul aligned strategies to create results that actually feel good. So I know that our listeners are really going to walk away with some value and also maybe having that mindset shift of like, oh, yeah, I never thought about just maybe dipping my toe in the water, checking out what it's like to be a part of a book collaboration, and then maybe feeling confident enough to write my own story. And then also getting to know human design because as I said, I love human design. It changed my life. And I truly believe that when you know your personality type in a way, it's really helpful because again, it helps you to see like, you start to see, oh, this is my patterns and this is the why behind it. So you don't feel like you're going crazy because that's kind of like how I felt for a little while. So again, thank you so much for being here. I really, really loved having you on the show.
Thank you so much, Lizzie. It's a pleasure. I really enjoyed myself.
Oh, thank you. And to our listeners, if you'd like to connect with Dina directly and learn more about her work, you can find her contact information in the show notes. Remember, every step you take to align with who you really are brings you closer to the success and fulfillment you're meant for. Trust yourself, own your message, and give yourself permission to expand. Until next time, keep dreaming, keep believing, and keep designing your extraordinary life one day at a time. Thank you for joining me on Her Extraordinary Life by Design. I hope you've been inspired and empowered by the incredible stories shared on this show. If you enjoyed this episode and the conversations we've had, I would greatly appreciate if you could take a moment to leave a review. Your feedback and support mean the world to me, and it will help others discover the podcast and join our empowering community. Remember to hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Together, we can continue to learn from these amazing women, uncover their extraordinary journeys, and be motivated to create our own lives by design. Thank you again for tuning in. Until next time, stay empowered and keep shaping your extraordinary life one day at a time.
Electricast. Welcome to the Candle Power Hour. Come with us backstage behind the scenes of show business spanning over 4 decades and bringing you the experiences that can only be told by the people who were there.
Our guests are from the A-list, the F-list, and everyone in between. Get set for some of the most insane, hilarious, and inspiring stories you will ever hear.
I'm Mercury.
And I'm Diego.
Your host for the Candle Power Hour.
I'm Iris, host of Or Whatever Movies and the forthcoming Powers of Darkness podcast. For the better part of a decade, we've been unraveling a literary mystery that begins with a strange version of Dracula. Yes, that Dracula. It's a different story, imbued with a potentially insidious agenda. What we've already found so far reshapes what we thought we knew, but the investigation isn't over. Support our efforts to finish what we've started and bring the full story to light. Go now to Kickstarter.com and search up Powers of Darkness to learn more. Coming soon on Electricast, wherever you listen to podcasts.
Electricast. Electricast.